Welcome to the Coming Strength and Fitness podcast. I'm Jill, coach and owner of CS&F. My team and I are here to help you take charge of your fitness and nutrition. In each episode, we'll provide you our best so that you can take your health to the next level. I hope you enjoyed today's episode with our host and coach, Alex Cottingham.
And we are back for a very, very special episode of the new brand CS&F Fitcast. Jill, how does it feel to be at episode 50? This is episode 50. We've done 50 of them.
Feels a little bit like my age. It's not quite at 50, but it feels good. It's been really cool to watch how the podcast has grown since we started it like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I mean, probably 18 to 24 months ago-ish.
Super cool.
Well, everyone, welcome. This is episode 50. I'm your host, Alex. We got Jill back in the studio, and we have a legend. He's been on that podcast for a handful of times. So we have Hunter, owner, coach. Hunter.
Hello, everyone. How are you all today?
They can't answer you back, so you don't really ask.
I didn't say them. I was talking to you.
Oh.
Pop quiz. Do you guys remember what episode 1 was without going back?
I think, was it What is Fitness?
No, I think it was the history.
Yeah,
I think the
it was
story.
Just like, who is...
Oh, who are we?
Yeah, who are we?
Hunter and
Who's
Jill?
CS&F?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, hey, I think it's actually cool as a check mark to hit to episode 50 that we're bringing the legends, the owners, the main head honchos back in the studio. And we're just going to have a chat because let's just talk about the big thing out there. We're rebranding. Jill, why are we rebranding? We have a new logo. We have a new intro, new music. You hear the word nutrition in there. Why are we doing this?
Well, it's been 10 years coming. So we're at, this spring we'll be at our 10-year mark. That's a big milestone for us, a decade of fitness. And we recently, over the last few months, about 6 to 8 months, really started to implement more nutrition coaching at the gym as well. So we thought this would be a grand time to just go ahead and rebrand, kind of make things new. We are doing some renovations here at the gym right now. We're fixing up the bathrooms and upgrading those. So why not just go ahead and just, redo our branding to include the nutrition piece in it. Yeah. So fitness and nutrition.
Because we just changed a little bit of the CS&F Fitcast to the Coming Strength and Fitness podcast to be more inclusive, to be more kind of broad and general, to talk about fitness and nutrition, just how we can, embody our mission statement, which is to change lives.
Yeah.
Change lives through fitness and change lives through nutrition because we believe that can move the needle a lot.
Yes.
So, Hunter, I'm going to kick us off. We're just going to kind of walk down memory lane. 9.5 years, over 9.5 years since the onset of CS&F. We're going on 10. That's going to be fun. What has the past 9.5 years looked like? What have been some check marks? What are some things you've accomplished, surprised, enjoyed? What's it been like?
It's been really, really, I guess the word I would say is amazing in the sense that it started with just an idea of, hey, let's go open a facility to go train with friends, kind of just spread the word about what we view through the lens of fitness in general. And we knew out of the gates we wanted to do something that was impactful for our friends in that arena. But we also want to do something impactful for like the coaches and the staffs that hopefully we'd eventually be able to hire way back when. And so it's been amazing. It's been fun. It's been challenging. But I think all things worth pursuing have challenges along the way. So yeah, I would say it's been amazing. That would be the word I would use to describe.
Jill, let me put you on the spot here. When Hunter, was it Hunter's idea? It was Hunter's idea? Said, hey, you want to start this?
Mm-hmm.
When Hunter said, hey, let's start a gym, 10 years ago, is this what you're standing in now and experience today? Is this what you had in mind, or has the vision changed over the past 10 years?
This is not what I had in mind. This is so much more than I ever dreamed or imagined it could be.
Talk to us about that.
I mean, when we opened, I didn't know a ton about CrossFit. I had just gotten my level 1 certification maybe a year prior to that. I was coaching at another gym, and I knew Hunter had always had plans to possibly open one. It was a passion of his, something he wanted to try. He's an entrepreneur. He had started an ice cream business prior to that, and this is not like me, so this is odd that this is the way I answered. But when he said, do you want to start a gym? I was like, sure. usually I'm a lot more conservative in my decision making, and I do my pros and cons lists, and I talk to my mentors, and I go through a very lengthy process of big decision making. But that one was just on the spot. It felt right. So we did it, and it was scary.
But you did it.
But we did it. Yeah.
And I can definitely answer this for you. You're very glad you did.
So glad. So glad. Man.
So, Hunter and Jill, 9.5 years. What are some funny memories that have stood out with either members, classes, anything? What's something funny?
There's so many. Yeah. I mean, just think of all the accumulation of funny events that have happened over 10 years and the amount of funny people we have in this gym.
What stands out?
Some of the things that stand out the most, and we were just talking about this, is like the Halloween costume workouts. Like some of the costumes that people would bring in were absolutely incredible. I mean, one time Peter built a toilet to sit on, and it looked like he was sitting on a toilet during the whole class. I mean, it was incredible.
Classic,
yes.
I think he did it like in honor of his favorite place at CS&F.
It totally was. And Lee has done
Lee Frazier.
Lee was a rower one year, and it worked.
Yeah, so wasn't he like a deadlifter, and he's dressed up like a zombie and actually had a barbell attached to him?
Yeah.
That was really cool.
I think some of the events are fun too, like the competitions we've thrown over the years where you start seeing people connect the dots of what they're doing on a daily basis to dip their toe into like let me see if I can mentally push myself outside of my comfort zone.
Right.
Like seeing some of that happen has been really exciting and fun. The Christmas party, it has its own like I don't want to say reputation, but
its own flavor. Typically,
those are quite eventful events that have stories weeks after they've happened over the years. Yeah, and I think expanding has been exciting too. Like, we started in one section of the building we're currently in. We've expanded multiple times through that process. As you mentioned earlier, we're renovating. So really kind of like looking at it through the lens of how do we continuously make things better? And I think that's been our vision / goal from day one is like, let's get this thing going. Let's make it better. Let's make it better. Let's make it better. And having a mentality around there's a term in the CrossFit space called virtuosity, and I think we take that concept at a high level and try to apply it to all areas inside the gym.
So you guys just started out in the main space, right? For context for people listening, this might be their first episode. It was an old, mechanic shop?
Yeah, it was an
oil and lube
transmission
shop. So you just purchased that down there, and then you finally expanded out. Talk to us about some of the expansion quickly.
Mm-hmm. So we were down in that main space. Gosh, how many years were we down there?
Probably 3 or 4.
3 or 4 years down there, and then there was some little office space and like the kids' room and stuff was down there. And our classes just started to get big, and again exceeded our expectations. We had no idea we'd ever have a need to expand, but we did. And so once we expanded into the suite that was next to us, it's that studio area that's just a few steps up from the main level.
Well, you had to bust out that wall.
Busted out the wall. There's a big wall, and then we took the office space and moved it up here. So it gave us a lot of extra room up here for kids and personal training sessions and, office space. And we have a PT room and showers and things like that up here.
Well, because you also had a lobby, which I was even here for that. Busted out the lobby to expand even more gym space so we could even expand the lobby.
Yeah.
The original space was, if you were down in the gym and you're familiar with it, where all the rowers and stuff, that glass corner down there, that was our lobby. And the kids' room was where
the bathroom
the water fountain.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The water fountain is, so it was like half the size of our current kids' space.
Yeah.
So we kicked out that wall, kicked out the brick cinder block wall, moved all that downstairs, upstairs.
Gotcha.
And I went through like a 2.5 year process of trying to buy the building so that we could do some of that expansion, because it went into foreclosure, and I was calling California once a week for 2 years
I
to
remember
do
that.
it. And so that was an interesting process too. But, it's part of like the quote unquote struggles or challenges or hurdles, that made it what it is. So
Joe, I'm going to put you on the spot with this next one. What has surprised you over the past 9.5 years?
I didn't know that it was going to change me as much as it did. Obviously, the mission and goal of starting the gym was to help other people with their goals and to help change other people. But it's kind of like one of those things where you get more out of it than everyone else because I just feel like I've had the opportunity to serve people, and they've given that energy and that love back to me in so many ways. And I've gotten so much out of this experience of, managing and owning a business and helping people and being a part of people's lives and building a community. And it's just been a huge enhancement to my life, for sure.
That's an excellent answer.
Oh, well, thanks. I
Hunter,
didn't really think about it before you asked it. So
that was good. Hunter,
yeah.
has anything surprised you?
Surprised. That's a good word to ask. I don't know if I'd use the word surprise, but I would say it has impressed me.
Yeah.
In the sense, what I mean by impress me is it's impressed upon me relationships, friendships, self-development, growth, things that I probably would have never experienced or really had the need to develop had I not had this on my plate throughout the past almost 10 years now. So I think it's been one of those things that's been continuously challenging to me, I know to Jill, and really our staff in general, in a good way, to make us grow, to rise to the occasion, to make it better.
Yeah.
Because it could have been easy just to let it coast and let it just be what it is, but we really never wanted it just to be that way. So in the process of trying to pursue excellence or get better and just try to make it better, it's caused us to grow a ton and built a lot of really good friendships along the way.
Yeah.
One unique yet I think really cool aspects of what we do here are our tribals and our tribal leaders we're recognizing people's mile markers of how long they've been at the gym. So the gym has been around going on 10 years. Mm-hmm. And there are a select few of people that have been here for maybe not the whole time, but a pretty dang long time.
I mean, starting in 2013, there's 22 people that are still here.
22 out of hundreds of people that have gone through these doors. Mm-hmm. I would even argue thousands of people that have gone through these doors.
Yeah, I mean, in 10 years for sure.
To those 22 people, and again, I don't want to put you on the spot and try to name all of them, but if you were listening and you're one of those 22, you know who you are. You've seen the changes.
Yeah.
What would you say to that specific 22 people that have been with you guys for a long time?
I would say you're the core. You're the pillars that built this place. If you've been around for 10 years, you've been around as long as Hunter and I have, and you've watched our kids go from diapers to high school, So thank you is number one. That type of loyalty and that length of loyalty is, impressive and important to us. And they've seen everything. They've seen all the change. They've seen all the growth. They've been a part of all of that. And they're just the foundation of what we do. And they're the core of our community.
Hunter, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, the first word that came to my head, even as Jill was talking, would absolutely be thank you, because you've probably seen us just go through growing pains of, get the gym getting full and not having room and expanding and watching us make maybe some not great decisions over time, not necessarily pinpointing on what those are, but, just watching us grow too as you've entrusted us to help shepherd their journey around fitness and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, my primary thing would be thank you so much, and not thank you just for being a member, but welcoming the other members, because I do believe, to Jill's point, they are the pillars, because the continuous feedback we've gotten over the past nearly 10 years is I came here to get fitness goals and stuff, but the community around of these humans that are here, not just Jill and I, and not just staff, but just the people that are there is what makes it special. And so they are the people that have helped set that tone. So I think it's a thank you from us, but I think it's also I would also say a lot of our other members that don't maybe know who those people are would also say thank you if they knew who they were, because they've helped establish some of the culture here.
Jill, what would you say to the CS&F coaches right now?
They are what make this place what it is. I mean, Hunter and I obviously started the gym, but the coaches are the ones that deliver. They're the boots on the ground. They're the ones that deliver the experience. They're the ones that, are frontline delivering the coaching, taking people through fundamentals, caring for people, circling back with people, and they are what we do 100%.
I think something that people may not realize in the industry that we are in is that, yes, we're in the quote-unquote health and fitness industry, but more importantly, we're in the people industry. And just sitting in my seat, you guys take care of people really, really well, and our coaches take care of our athletes really, really well. And I'm biased, obviously. We're not perfect, and we don't claim to be. But I think that's another thing that kind of sets us apart, sets the gym, and kind of you have set the tone with that is we're going to take care of our people really, really well because they come for the fitness but stay for the community, like you were saying, Hunter. So let's put a pin on that on the serious note for a second, and I'm going to put you on the spot again. What has been something just crazy, something barbaric, something in class? Jill, what is it?
I've got it. So this was a long time ago, but there's some people out there who are still here who experienced this. This was early on. I was coaching a class, and a man, we're in the same parking lot as a Waffle House, if you don't know. So lots of different flavors of folks, in our parking lot all the time. It's really fun to people watch. One guy came over with a flute.
With a flute?
With a plastic flute.
Okay.
I think he was still, having some side effects of his choices from the night before.
Okay.
And he came over and began to basically do hip circles and gyrations with his hips
while
in front of the
flute.
building while playing the flute while our class was going on. It was a class of all females, and this happens from time to time.
Of course.
And so, of course, I'm like, not on my property, sir. And so I go over and I'm like, can I help you? And he just keeps doing this provocative dance with his flute.
He was standing on like a tractor tire back when
we
we
used to have tires, and he was standing on it right in front of, like a foot from where I was standing.
Oh, my
And I was like,
gosh.
I'm going to need you to go someplace else and take your show somewhere else. But eventually the police did come and pick him up. But that was fun. And you know what's funny is that anytime anything weird like that has ever happened, there's no men here. It's me and about 20 women.
Well, it's funny you say that.
Yeah.
I was just coaching the 8:30 about 4 months ago, and we were doing the 400-meter loop outside, and there was homeboy from Waffle House playing his guitar and singing, just taking loops around, and it was only women. It was me and only women, thankfully.
But I tell you what I say to those people? You picked the wrong group of women.
That is very true.
You picked the wrong group.
Very true. Hunter, anything just crazy stand out in your mind?
Probably back in the early days, like the bootstrap days, if you called it that. I do remember one time coaching class and looking over, and my son was hanging out the window taking a leak.
You've got to really paint this picture a little. Hanging out the window of what? Okay.
So he was probably like
he was still in diapers. He was potty training.
Yeah, he was like 2. No, he was just over 1. If he was potty training.
No, over 2.
Was he over 2? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so this was rare, so DFAX doesn't come back and find us. It was rare that like maybe I was traveling or Jill was doing something else, maybe coaching. I don't know. I was here at the gym coaching, and my son was in the back of our car, and we had like a video screen. So he was hanging out there while I was coaching the class, and apparently he had to go pee, and he was potty training. So he rolled down the window of our SUV and just peed off the side of the car
while everyone can see,
while everybody's looking, laughing at him and stuff. I mean, he's 2, so so that was pretty interesting. I think we've washed his butt off in the sink before too.
That's not the same sink, but we've replaced it since then. But he's had some blowouts, and I have rinsed him off in that sink downstairs before. Another funny one that I think of, and it's just more cool than funny, is like our lights have gone off a few times. Like someone would hit a power pole near the facility and we wouldn't have lights, and like at the 5 a.m. it's pitch black.
Oh wow.
So you'd have like 10 people pull their cars up and pull their headlights up, and they'd work out to the the light of their. That was super cool. I mean, I know it's not what you want to have lights on when you work out, but that was super
It's a memory.
Cool. It was super cool.
It's a memory.
Yeah.
And one of the more memorable like community-esque events too is we had a coach. He's not here any longer because he had family and things like that, but like he proposed to his wife at the gym.
That's neat.
At an event. So like it's fun to like get the opportunity, and I call it like a blessing/opportunity, like to get to do life around people and like see glimmers and pieces of their unique lives as well. But yeah, we've also had some external events happen, like the flute guy and things pop up over the years that those stories float around for a while after they happen.
So the 9.5 years have not been all candy and unicorns and rainbows and.
I think anybody that starts a business knows that's not the case.
Exactly. It hasn't been smooth sailing. There's been challenges and difficulties, and I think what's cool is we don't claim to hide them. We say, hey, like you said, we're constantly making it better, but there's growing pains and things to overcome. Any challenging times or difficult things you guys have specifically had to overcome that's worth sharing?
I mean, yeah, the whole COVID closure shutdown deal was probably the hardest thing we've had to navigate as small business owners. And I'll be very transparent. We had talked with our CFO, the guy who handles our finances here, and when we were forced to close down, we had, him kind of tally up, money in the bank and what we were spending, and people couldn't come in, all of that, and how many months we would have, to wait it out. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to navigate as a business owner, because this place is not just a business to us. This is our family. This is our lives are built around it, and we want it to be that way because it's that important to us. And just the thought of there potentially being something outside of our control that shut us down was heartbreaking.
But it didn't.
But it didn't. And you know why? It's because our members continued to pay their memberships. We rented out equipment. They continued to support us during that time, and that's why it didn't happen. But I do know many gyms, even in this area, where they did close down. And I just can't thank our community enough for the support that we received from them over that time. It was very challenging, and we're here, and we made it through, and it made us better, and it made us stronger. But that was absolutely the hardest time we've had in the last 10 years. Completely outside of our control. That was the hard part. There was nothing we could do to fix it. So.
Hunter, would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the hardest part about that, to Joel's comment, was it was not like we made a bad decision, or it wasn't like we, I don't know, it was outside of our control.
Yeah.
So to a degree, that was even more stressful, because literally we just had to trust that we did have enough relational margin for the community to trust that we would still provide value remotely and help them. Because, I mean, they too were stuck at home in a lot of cases too. So we didn't want them just to also be stuck sitting on a couch with their kids. We were trying to still provide value, but we didn't know how long is this going to last? What's this going to look like?
So many unknowns.
So I would say that. I mean, other than that, I think everyone has their quote unquote COVID-esque stories personally, but also businesses too. But, I think that was by far the hardest challenge we've probably ever faced.
It was super weird coming in here and there being zero equipment, because we lent it out to everybody. But it was also a huge time of growth and learning how to navigate things that are outside of your control and doing what you can with what you've got. So, yeah. And realizing how important our community was and how much they supported us through that time was huge.
I think one of the great things about CrossFit is it prepares you for life. It's not just you get in, get out, and you just keep it within the walls of the gym. That you don't just strengthen your physical muscles, but you strengthen your adversity muscles, and you learn how to push through hard things.
Yes.
And I think that's what's cool about listening to you guys there is what we do in the gym is not just a workout program or something. It is really preparing us and changing us for the better. Mm-hmm. It's changing lives through fitness. That's what you guys started with. And now we're changing lives through fitness and nutrition, which is really cool. But just learning how to not take no for an answer in a stubborn, righteous way, to push past, okay, it's out of our control. How do we go to plan B, plan C? How do we pivot? How do we keep making it better? And how do we grow? I think that's cool, not just from a CrossFit aspect, but what you guys have demonstrated and have led through. So props to you guys. Last question as we're kind of rounding third and coming home. What's the future? What's the future look like?
It's looking bright.
We're just getting started.
We're just getting started. 10 years is our first base. Yeah.
30 to go.
Yeah.
Hunter, I'll kick it to you, and then Joe, you're going to bring us home.
Okay.
What's the future look like at CS&F?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we've shifted some of our efforts into more of the nutrition element aspect. We've always known it's important, but I think we just wanted to put more framework around it to help more people. If there's a diagram out there, if you Google what is fitness or whatnot, you can, and they have a diagram of the pyramid. It's not the food pyramid, but the pyramid of fitness, I guess you'd say. Like, we've always known nutrition is the foundational base of fitness. And so we're intentionally drawing more attention or providing more tool sets around that. So that's been a recent thing. as far as like what we're doing on an actionable basis. And then we're always trying to refine our processes, how we deliver coaching and a class experience. I think will always continually evolve and hopefully progress. And then probably lastly here in the new horizon of 10 years is, we want to see how can we serve more people. Certainly nutrition provides that element. If there are, friends of family members that are out of state and they need help and coaching, we can provide that on a digital or remote based mechanism. But also too here in the city and the community we serve is we're currently investigating how do we expand our footprint. Can we expand the building, meeting with architects, things like that. So our vision and goal has always been to change lives through fitness, and we want to change as many lives as we're able to do. And to do that, we need more space. So we're constantly looking at that as well.
Jill?
Yeah, all of those things. Like Hunter said, we want to reach as many people as we possibly can. And, our mission is to change lives through fitness. Our vision is to be the premier fitness and nutrition facility in Forsyth County. And all over the world, really. I would like that. But we will just continue to strive to be the very best that we can be and to provide the best service to our members and to the people that we work with, to refine it, to make it better, to learn from our mistakes, and to help people as best as we possibly can.
So to all of the podcast listeners, all of the friends that are just tuning in, to the CS&F members, to the coaches, to anybody listening, what do you say as we close this episode? Jill?
I would say thank you to members, coaches, members past, coaches past. I mean, everybody that's ever been a part of this thing that we are doing has impacted it in some way. And we are forever lifelong grateful to that. Thank you all. And just get excited about the future. We have plans. We have lots of things in motion to continue to make this place better. And I literally can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
Hunter, last question I'll leave you with as we end is, let's say someone's listening that wants to partake in CS&F. Why should they, and what can they do?
It's a good question. I think first things first is reach out to us. Let's have a conversation. Let's understand what's going on in your life, what is working well, what's not working well, and if we can help. I think one thing that's really interesting about our thoughts and approach is like we know we're not perfect for everyone, and we're okay of saying, hey, you should go pursue this or go pursue that. But when we do have alignment of what your goals are, where you're headed, we absolutely want to help you guys. And I would say too, like if you've had a past experience with us and you had a change in your life, come back. And the reason I say that is because to Jill's point, like thank you to our past coaches, our past staff, and past members as well. But I can confidently say we're better today than we were last year, and we're better today than we were 3 years ago because we are constantly trying to improve. So I'd say reach out. Let's have a conversation. You can reach out through any of our social channels or whatnot and see how we can help.
We're professional helpers.
That's good.
We can help you.
We're in the people industry. Podcast listeners, thank you so much. This is number 50. We have many, many, many more to go. We hope that this is encouraging, insightful, inspiring, and that we can continue to help change your life through fitness and nutrition. So we'll see you on episode 51. Until then, Jill and Hunter, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thank you for joining us today, friends. I hope today's conversation helped you gain a greater understanding of the mission at CS&F to change lives through fitness and nutrition. Check us out on social media or reach out at comingstrengthandfitness.com. We would love to help you take your health to the next level. We'll see you next time.